ATMC TV. Jay, a tale of 2 weeks for these two teams. West Brunswick, big winners in week one, whereas Laney suffered a 20-6 defeat at the hands of Topsail. What can our viewers expect tonight?
Well, listen, this game scares me if you're a West Brunswick fan because of the similarities between these two teams. I think Laney's about where West was a couple of years ago. They're a young team. They got a new coach, and this guy can coach. That's Luke Little. They've got a really good young quarterback in his son, Ty Little. He's a sophomore. They got a couple of kids that can run the football, particularly Eli Riviera. Connor Poe is a good receiver, and they got a stud in the defensive line by the name of Barroner. So they've got a lot of pieces that could give West some problems tonight. But West, if they play the way they're quite capable of playing, can win this football game tonight, and I think they really need to step out quickly in the game and try to establish some momentum. Last week was not the typical West Brunswick game. Far too many mistakes for Coach Brett Hickman, I'm sure.
And certainly the Trojans will have to clean some of that up against a Laney team that's improving quickly. Jay, for West Brunswick defensively, that was the big storyline last year was the dominant West Brunswick defense. They lose so many key players on that defense and then just roll right into 2021. And what do? Opening week shutout win.
Well, the real difference with the West defense this year, I think, is speed. They got some quick guys out there. And the one who is maybe the quickest is maybe their best player, and that would be the linebacker, Carter Wyatt. He's a junior. This kid is electric, Sam. He really worked in the offseason. He pared down his weight by 10 pounds. He built up his strength, and he really built up his quickness. So you're going to see him all over the field this evening. Last week he was involved in 17 tackles. 9 of them were solo. He had 3 hurries. He's really a player, but there's a lot of other great, talented defense players on that team, such as the defensive backs and Mal Hewitt and Johnny Magby. True Robinson's an excellent player, but the West defense will continue on this year principally because of Carter Wyatt.
Lots of storylines to follow tonight here at M.H. Rourke Stadium. It's 1-0 West Brunswick against 0-1 Laney. We'll have all the action right here for you on ATMC TV. 2 of the Mideastern Conference high school football season right here on ATMC TV. I'm Sam Hickman, joined as always by Jay Combs. Jay, welcome back. Feels like we were just doing a game like this last Friday.
Yeah, we were, although the weather is 100% better this week. What a beautiful Friday evening in Charlotte. And dry and clear skies and just a perfect setting for a high school football game.
And, Jay, it was not so dry in the early stages of West Brunswick's 26-0 season opening victory at Ashley. It's another Wilmington school that the Trojans will welcome to Charlotte tonight, but this time it's first-year head coach Luke Little and his Laney Buccaneers. And Jay, I think Coach Little knows a little something about Laney's sophomore quarterback.
Well, he feeds him, and he puts a roof over his head. And let me tell you, I'm excited about seeing Ty Little. He's only a sophomore. He was 12 for 25 last week in that loss to Topsail. He had 3 interceptions, but as Sam was filling me in on it, 2 of those 3 really weren't his fault, and the third one was just a miraculous catch by a Topsail defender. So he's a good ball player. He comes from a great football family. Didn't Brett play for Luke?
He did.
So
Brett's first year or 2 at West Brunswick, he was on the JV team, and Luke Little was one of the coaches. Coach Little also helped out with the baseball program. And Jay, coincidentally, Luke Little still holds some North Carolina state records in high school baseball. I think up until the last few years, he held the record for most doubles in a season and most career doubles in North Carolina high school baseball history. So Ty's father, Luke, heck of an athlete himself in his day.
I'm glad we're playing football tonight, not baseball, right? We got some captains out on the field for West Brunswick. Senior Trip Hardy, Senior Hussein, Senior Jalen Griffin, and Senior Luke King. And it's good to see Hussein dressed. He did not play last week in that opening victory over Ashley. It'll be good to get him back out on the field tonight.
He did not. So we'll get our first look at senior defensive lineman Hyson Hussein. Jay, Laney won the coin toss and deferred to the second half. So West Brunswick will receive the game's opening kickoff. Jay, you talked about it briefly in our intro. West Brunswick, a 26-0 winner over Ashley in week 1. Topsail knocked off Laney 20-6. What are these 2 head coaches hoping to get out of their teams tonight? Obviously, a Laney team probably pretty desperate to avoid a 0-2 start, and West Brunswick trying to maintain that momentum they've built the last 2+ years. The Trojans have now won 15 of their last 19 games.
And, it's that winning culture that Coach Hickman has established here. That's what Coach Little is going to try to achieve at Laney. And what are they hoping to do tonight? I can tell you one thing. I'm sure West Brunswick's going to play a cleaner game. A lot of fumbles last week, muff punts, block kicks. I would expect them to be better in that area this evening. You also get a chance to see, if you didn't see it last week, an exciting newcomer to West Brunswick football this year. He is a senior quarterback, Monzelle Campbell. He's a transfer from East Columbus. He had a really fine debut last week, rushing for 141 yards, 2 touchdowns, and both of those touchdowns were over 60 yards. And that's the real difference, or one of the differences offensively for West Brunswick this year. They've got some guys offensively that can make big plays. As Coach Hickman likes to say, turn a 7 into 70. So from any place on the field, a lot of these guys are real speed merchants, Campbell being one of them. J.J. Cobb, another really quick kid. He's at the receiver. He had 4 catches last week. They just got a lot of talent, a lot of speed, and I think Coach Hickman and staff will probably early on, they want to throw the ball more this year. We'll see coming out of the chute, but try to establish that pass as opposed to, the 3 yards in a cloud of dust that we've seen for a lot of years and very successfully so here at West Brunswick.
Jay, we're almost set for the opening kickoff. Laney deferred the ball to the second half, so the Buccaneers will be kicking off to the Trojans to kick off week 2 in the Mideastern Conference.
back to return it for West. Wow, Johnny Magby had a pretty darn good game last week. The senior free safety running back, he ran for 71 yards and a score. He caught a couple of passes. He had an interception. Johnny Magby, his senior year, he wants to make a statement. And, wow, wouldn't it be a great way to just start it with a kickoff return for a score in the first game here at West this year?
And we are off in week 2. It's a short pooch kick. West Brunswick fields it cleanly, and I believe that's Trip Hardy. 18, Trip Hardy comes up, makes a nice grab, and Jay, pretty good starting field position for West Brunswick, fielding that short pooch kick at its own 40.
Yeah, that was a really short kick by number 31, Donovan Ammons. He's a sophomore, so obviously maybe the Buccaneers are saying, hey, you know what? We know Magby's back there. We know he's a game breaker. We're gonna give up some field position and stay away from the big return.
So Campbell getting the start at quarterback. High snap on first down. Laney breaks through the offensive line and stops Magby for, we'll give him a yard on first down. That will set up a 2nd and 9 from the West 41.
It's a young West Brunswick offensive line. 3 juniors, a sophomore center, and a senior tackle. Right now, they're kind of going through some growing pains. Coach Hickman thinks by the middle of the season, it might be the best part of this West Brunswick team. They've got a lot of potential.
So West Brunswick in a heavy package here to start. Campbell rolls out to his right. He's going to tuck it, still on his feet. Lost the ball, but knocked out at the 46-yard line of the Buccaneers. A gain of 13 yards and a West Brunswick first down.
Yeah, knocked out of bounds by number 24, Jacob Johnson, a 5'10 sophomore. But you saw Campbell there. He can beat you with his legs, and he can also deliver the ball pretty well. So nice effort, nice execution on the option that time by number 2, Monzelle Campbell.
So 1st and 10 from the Laney 46-yard line. Campbell in the shotgun, Magby to his left. This time Campbell keeps it, and a good open field tackle there by the Buccaneers. Campbell somehow stayed on his feet, but lost a couple of yards to the 48-yard line. So a good job flying to the ball by the Laney defense, and that sets up a 2nd and 12 from just inside midfield.
Yeah, excellent job by Laney. 21, Chuck Jones, interesting kid. He had 10 total tackles last week for the Buccaneers. In on that play, he's a transfer from New Hanover. And that's a nice gift for Coach Luke Little to start his year with.
10:40 left in the opening frame, still scoreless. Campbell gained 1 first down 2 plays ago. Now he's got it. He drops back, lofts a pass down the field, and it's picked off by Laney. Picked off number 21, and the return man still on his feet. Locke Murphy trying to bring him down, and he finally does inside the Laney 20-yard line, but that's junior free safety Chuck Jones, who just kind of waited on it out there, went and got it like a center fielder, and the Buccaneers with a big forced turnover early in the game, and not great starting field position, but you got to take that if you're Laney, Jay, coming up with a quick interception off of Monzelle Campbell.
That's the kid we were just talking about that transferred in from New Hanover, and probably a throw that Monzelle Campbell would like to have back, because that was more to Chuck Jones than it was to his intended receiver, J.J. Cobb.
So Laney with good yardage on first down. That's Rivera, the junior running back, Eli Rivera, all the way out to about the 27, 28-yard line. Actually, the 29, so 12 yards for Rivera and a first down.
Yeah, Rivera, 5'9", 205, junior. He had 72 yards on the ground last week in that game against Topsail, so he's one of these fire hydrants, right? You know, these guys that aren't real tall, but they are very stout. And Rivera looks like he can run the football. Anyway, brings up a 1st and 10 from what, Sam, the 29?
29-yard line.
And some confusion.
Jay, having some kind of malfunction here, either with the game clock. Yep. I believe they're cutting the play clock off on the field, and the ref's just going to keep it on the field. So 10-11 left in the opening frame. Laney has a first down from its own 29. Another run and another big gain. Wyatt chasing the ball carrier, brings him down, but Rivera gains 11 yards to the 40, so 23 yards on Rivera's first 2 carries, and Laney already out to its own 40-yard line.
Well, Rivera runs through a gaping hole to the left, and he doesn't even get touched until he's 10 yards past the line of scrimmage or close to it. Has to get chased down from behind by Carter Wyatt. Not a good start defensively for the Trojans.
Ty Little in the shotgun, flanked by Rivera. This time, True Robinson kind of chases him down from the backside and brings Rivera down for a gain of 2 yards to set up a 2nd and 8 for the Bucks.
Yeah, True Robinson, 5'11", 172-pound senior. I'm pretty sure this kid don't know how good he could be. He had an outstanding defensive game last week over Ashley. 9 total tackles, 5 of them were solo. He had a hurry. He can do a lot of different things out on the football field for Coach Brett Hipping.
So the game clock approaching 9 minutes left here in the first quarter. Laney has a 2nd and 8 from its own 42-yard line. Ty Little in the shotgun. He gives it right up the middle. Rivera still on his feet, dragging West Brunswick tacklers to the 48-yard line. Give him 6 yards on the play, and that will set up a 3rd and 2 from the Laney 48.
Big block that time from a kid by the name of Azarian Lee, listed as a freshman. But he was banging his way in there, and, of course, Rivera smart enough to go right behind him. So big pickup sets up a 3rd and makeable situation for Laney.
And it's going to be a pop pass to Cavius Berry. And, Jay, he's got all kinds of running room, still on his feet, all the way inside the 35, brought down at the West Brunswick 30-yard line, a gain of 22 and a Laney Bucks first down.
Yeah, Kai Berry didn't play last week, but he was one of their receivers from last year. He's an outstanding basketball player, Sam. We had a couple of occasions to see him this year on the basketball court, and we're talking about the speed of West. Laney's got some too, and the guy you just saw, Berry.
Laney going some tempo here. That was Rivera, minimal yardage across the line of scrimmage. Hussein was there on the tackle, 2 yards to the 28 to set up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Hardy in from his linebacker position along with Hussein for the stop, but not before a couple-yard pickup by Rivera. He's off to a big start here in the first quarter.
Little goes to the line of scrimmage and then looks to the sideline to get the play. 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen, 1 to the top. Tight end comes in motion. Option play. West Brunswick is there trying to bring down Rivera. It was number 14, Patrick Vereen, who got there first and brought down Rivera for a loss of 2 yards, and that's going to set up a 3rd and 10 from the 30-yard line of West Brunswick.
Yeah, excellent play that time by Patrick Vereen. He held the edge and pushed him inside. Helps that he's got strong hands and he can hold on to that jersey until he got some help from his friends, particularly number 35, Mike Smith. So sets up a 3rd and passing situation for Ty Little.
Might get our first look at the throwing arm of number 9, the sophomore quarterback, Ty Little. 2 receivers to the top of the screen. Little's going to go deep. Malachi Hewitt there on the coverage, and it is a touchdown. That's going to be Connor Poe, number 4, a 30-yard pitch and catch from Ty Little to Connor Poe, and with 6:33 left in the opening quarter, the Bucks force a turnover on the first drive, strike quickly on offense, and lead the Trojans 6-0.
Boy, let me tell you, what a strike by Little, and that's something when you beat Hewitt. Poe, the leading receiver for the Buccaneers, and watching that play, you can see why.
Number 31, Donovan Ammons, the sophomore kicker, on to try the extra point. and it is no good. So Ammons misses the extra point, but Laney takes a 6-0 lead about midway through the opening quarter here on ATMC TV. Jay, those are the first points of the season that the Trojans have allowed, and boy, what an impressive 83-yard march that Laney just went on.
Yeah, and it didn't take him a whole lot of time to do it, Sam. Of course, the big play, the touchdown pass from Barry to Poe. And he had plenty of time to throw, and, boy, he looked very comfortable back in that pocket and delivered a strike.
And, Jay, it looked like the coverage initially, Malachi Hewitt was right there, step for step with Connor Poe, and then maybe lost his footing at about the 5-yard line, and Poe just kind of hauled it in and stepped across the goal line for the Laney touchdown.
Well, Malachi Hewitt, by a lot smarter people than me, I mean, who isn't, but that know football and understand football, think Hewitt is maybe the best, certainly one of the best cover corners in the league. And that time, Poe got the best of him. Now, you're right, I think Hewitt did get his feet kind of tripped himself that time, but nevertheless, a good catch by Poe and an excellent throw by Ty Little.
Ammons this time keeps it on the ground, and Trip Hardy just falls on it down at about the 37-yard line, where West Brunswick will take over 1st and 10.
Tell you what, that's just interesting strategy on the part of Laney. 2 kickoffs in a row, so they've done it both times. We can presume that that's how they're going to do it all night long, which is just take the short kick, stay away from the big return. Nevertheless, though, give, in this instance, West pretty good field position out around their 37.
So West Brunswick finds itself facing its first deficit of the season with 6:30 left in the first quarter. West Brunswick having a difficult time getting the play in, and we're going to have another stoppage here.
Not sure what the issue there is, Sam, but there's the whistle.
Nor am I.
The issue is gone, and we can get back to football. Big series. I'm sorry, Sam. Big series for the Trojans.
A good gain there on 1st down by West Brunswick. Ball carrier's knees were down at about the 42-yard line, but not before a 5-yard gain by Johnny Magby.
Yeah. You know, West, as I said, I think this is an important possession. They just got punched in the nose, right? They got punched in the nose good. How do they respond? How do they react to that play? This drive will say a lot about it, and I think we're going to get a timeout.
Going to have a timeout with 6:13 left in the opening quarter. And the West Brunswick High School Booster Club would like to thank its platinum sponsors for their support of the Booster Club and the Trojan student athletes. West Brunswick couldn't do what it does without the support of these businesses. Brunswick Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery, J.P. Russ & Son, Coastal Hardware and Supply Center, the town of Holden Beach, and Sunset Slush. Again, those are the Booster Club's platinum sponsors. Jay, I don't think I could have said it any better. That was a haymaker Laney threw in the first 5 minutes and 47 seconds of this game.
Yeah, and look, over the course of a year, you're going to get shots like that, and the character of a team oftentimes is developed and determined by how you respond. Look, last week, West just didn't play a real good game. Now, they beat Ashley handily, but it certainly wasn't a great effort on the part of the Trojans. They are coming up against probably a little better team here tonight, maybe a lot better team than Ashley, and they're going to have to respond here.
Campbell in an empty set fakes the handoff to Cobb, and just nothing there. Laney was all over that one, and they dropped Campbell for a 1-yard loss at the 41-yard line. So West Brunswick facing a 3rd and 6 from its own 41.
Yeah, well prepared on that particular play. 22, Quaylin McZeeke, a junior, 6'1", a big kid, 225 pounds, was in on that play. He had 3 tackles last week, and a couple of them solo. You can add to it there.
And, Jay, West Brunswick wants a timeout now, so the teams kind of trading timeouts on this possession. 5:38 left in the first. West Brunswick faces a 3rd and 6 from its own 41-yard line. Laney 6, West Brunswick 0. The Buccaneers points on a 30-yard touchdown strike from Ty Little to Connor Poe. And Jay, probably worth mentioning, that was on a 3rd and 10 play. It looked like right when West Brunswick's defense had settled in, made 2 good plays in a row, you get them into a 3rd and long situation, and then boom, over the top, and you're down by a touchdown.
Nice observation, Sam. And, the thing that was impressive, we mentioned Little really delivered a strike, and Laney got probably a little fortunate because Hewitt lost his footing, but he had all day long to throw, and so that offensive line for Laney really stepped up on that possession. West is going to have to get a little bit more pressure on the young sophomore Ty Little if they're going to expect to be successful here this evening, because it looks like this kid can throw.
Campbell in the shotgun, flanked by Magby, 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Campbell rolls out. He's got a man, Avery Clemons, and he has got enough for the first down. Avery Clemons with a 9-yard reception from Monzelle Campbell, and a big play there as Campbell rolled out to his right and found Clemons.
Well, I guess that was maybe Magby in the backfield that picked up the blitzer and gave Campbell time to make the delivery. And a nice catch by the sophomore, Avery Clemons. He had 1 catch last week.
That's going to be Magby on the carry to the 48-yard line. So Magby with a gain of 2, it'll be 2nd and 8.
Still think West is going to have to try to figure out ways to get the ball into the hands of some of these speedy guys, like, for instance, J.J. Cobb or number 5, Locke Murphy, who's playing on the field this year, ordinarily just a kicker. But he is speedy, he is quick.
Speaking of him, he's in motion, partner. But Campbell keeps
it. I think
you
missed that, Sam. I really do.
And he is dropped for a loss of about 6 yards on the play to set up a 3rd and 14 from the West 46.
That had the makings of one of those little pop passes that you see so often now, or the jet screen to Cobb, and they just weren't able to make the handoff, and Campbell takes a 6-yard loss.
And it's going to be 3rd and 19 after the false start penalty on West Brunswick receiver Locke Murphy.
These are some of the mistakes that plagued the Trojans last week, and you fully expect that early in the season, particularly in the very first game after the kids haven't played for something like, 14, 16 months, something in that order. So you would expect that to get better as the season goes on. Those darn penalties and mistakes just eat you up.
So West Brunswick has lost 11 yards on the Campbell rush and the false start penalty, and now face a 3rd and 19 from the Trojan 41-yard line.
Bet the Buccaneers will be coming on this.
Showing pressure on the defensive side.
Another flag on the field.
It's going to be an offside penalty. So false start on West Brunswick and then an offside penalty against Laney. So all of that, Jay, and we're right back to a 3rd and 14 from the West 46.
Yeah, we were guessing that the Bucs were coming on that one, and they just came a little bit too quick. So West gets that 5 yards back. Still tough down in distance, 3rd and 14.
Shotgun snap.
Oh, no. Oh, yes.
He got it. Monzelle Campbell just lofted a pass over to number 5, Locke Murphy. Looked like the corner maybe lost the ball all the way to the 37-yard line. So a gain of 17 on the completion from Campbell to Murphy.
Yeah, that's Locke Murphy with, I believe, his first reception of the season. And Gage Thompson was the quarterback there. And Sam, can you lose the ball in the lights? He certainly looked like he had misplaced the ball. It was up there for grabs. Fortunately, Murphy brings it down. Boy, those guys are tough to get by up front.
Laney's defensive line just owning the line of scrimmage here early in the game. I think Magby lost a yard back to the 38-yard line. So West Brunswick playing some from behind the chains this possession. Will have a 2nd and 11 from the 38.
64 Barroner. We talked about him in the pregame. He kind of anchors that defensive line. And he had a fumble recovery last week. He was involved in 6 tackles, 4 of them solo. So you got to stay away from him, number 64.
That's a deep pass. Clemons caught it, I believe, Jay. What a catch on the West Brunswick sideline. Number 13, Avery Clemons. He's inside the Laney 10 at the 9-yard line. A 29-yard pitch and catch from Monzelle Campbell to Avery Clemons.
Yeah, what great concentration on the part of the sophomore, Avery Clemons. Sam, where did he come from?
That's a great
Did he play
question.
JV last year? I can't remember.
Jay?
He playing varsity this year.
I pride myself on being all over it, and this one I can't answer.
Who cares?
But, boys, West Brunswick, glad he's on the varsity team this year. Already has a pair of catches in tonight's game.
Had one last week for a touchdown. There you
Swing
go.
pass
There
to
you
Magby.
go.
Magby's
There
got
you
room.
go.
He's running toward the corner. Johnny Magby, touchdown on the swing pass from Monzelle Campbell. And what a response by the 1-0 Trojans. 9-yard touchdown completion from Campbell to Magby, and the Trojans a Murphy extra point away from taking an early lead.
And that's the kind of thing we thought we'd see a lot from West. Get the ball out quick. Get it to the guys that can run. Excellent play that time.
Jay, we saw a lot of issues last week on West Brunswick's extra point team. Had 2 blocked, 1 partially blocked that still went in. Good snap by Sharp. Kick is up by Murphy. And, Jay, look at the irony in that. Locke Murphy, former soccer player's extra point, goes into the soccer net behind the goal after it had split the uprights. And the Trojans, with a huge answer early in the game, take a 7-6 lead over the Laney Buccaneers.
Sam, we talked about what would the kids do. They got punched in the nose. Well, I'd say they acquitted themselves pretty darn good. Got off the mat, threw a couple of haymakers themselves, and take a 7-6 lead with 2:30 to go here in the opening quarter.
2.5 minutes left in the opening quarter. West Brunswick leads by 1. Jay, hard to find a bigger play on that drive. West Brunswick had a 3rd and 14 from its own 46, and Monzelle Campbell found Locke Murphy for a completion of 17 yards. That was after West had a 3rd and 19, and Laney jumped off sides, and that completion kind of gave the Trojans new life. Big completion to Avery Clemons sets up the 9-yard touchdown on the swing pass from Campbell to senior Johnny Magby. That's back-to-back games that Johnny Magby has scored a touchdown to open the season.
Well, Magby can do a lot of different things offensively and defensively for West Brunswick, and you've seen the offensive side of Magby. I'm sure we'll see some defensive plays from him too. But back to that throw, what a wonderful catch by Avery Clemons. What concentration! And they're pretty good kick right there.
Kick. Locke Murphy booms that one. That one goes.
He didn't do that last week, Sam.
No, that was 5 yards deep in the end zone, and the Buccaneers will be forced to start this drive at their own 20. But, Jay, probably not as intimidating of a feat for Laney after they just marched 83 yards for the game's first score.
Yeah, kind of where they were when they got the interception on the first possession of West Brunswick here tonight. Let's see what Little and company can do here. They've just gotten hit. Let's see what they come back with.
That's a slant route complete. I believe that's Poe again on the catch. He's brought down at the 29-yard line. So a gain of 9 sets up a 2nd and 1.
Yeah, Poe had 5 catches last week. He's already got 2 here tonight, including a touchdown. I think Laney probably will look to maybe take advantage of the intermediate area on the field, get those safeties up, and then go for the long shots to the kids like Barry or Poe who can get downfield. But when you throw strikes like Little is right now, you got a lot of options.
They're going to throw the fade route again.
There it is.
Right in the lap of Connor Poe, and West Brunswick And star cornerback Malachi Hewitt just not having any luck right now, slowing down the Buccaneers. That's a huge gain of 21 plus 12, 33 yards from Ty Little to Connor Poe.
What you like about Little on that play, again, only a 10th grader, only a second varsity start, right? He gets the long snap, he's looking left, and then boom, goes right down the sideline to Poe, who somehow got behind Hewitt and makes a big catch, his third of the night.
And Jay Hewitt was there on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, Little just put it right in his breadbasket. Oh, the pass intended for Cavius Berry falls to the turf, incomplete. That was number 14, Patrick Vereen, in coverage. And, Jay, that's what West Brunswick needed, just to slow Laney down a little bit. Laney been so successful on 1st and 10 tonight.
Yeah, once again, you see Little roll left that time and throw back across his body, and he was in the area, but good defense that time by Patrick Vereen.
And good pressure for the first time by West Brunswick.
Wow, not this time, Sam. Up the gut, Fournier. Number 20, a senior off the right side, and big gain.
9 yards to the 29-yard line.
Well, that was a big second down play. Now you're in a very makeable 3rd and 1. You're in 4-down territory. A lot of things Little can do.
Another big running hole. Good stop by West Brunswick at the 25-yard line, but Laney with plenty enough yardage for a first down.
I don't know who's on the right side of that Laney offensive line, but they are doing some busting. Let's see, 77, Big Miles Fennell. He's a 253-pound sophomore. He's on the left, 57. Unfortunately, I do not have a 57 on my roster. We'll try to find that one. But some good work up front by the Laney offensive line.
Little flushed out of the pocket. He's going to try and take off and run, and does a good job just getting back to the line of scrimmage. So Little avoids a sack. Little avoids a sack, but is stopped for no gain there. It'll be a 2nd and 10 from the West 25.
Yeah, nice effort that time by Luke King, the senior defensive lineman, number 71. But I think if you're a Trojans right now, you got to be a little bit concerned about the inability to get much pressure on the sophomore Little.
Another pop pass to Cavius Berry, and he slipped. Boy, a fortunate break. And, Jay, the West Brunswick sideline is furious that Laney's not being called for a blindside block there. It's the second time the West Brunswick coaching staff has just went berserk as they're throwing the pop pass. A slot receiver's kind of peeling back and catching a West Brunswick end or linebacker. It's not being called, and defensive coordinator Caleb Pardue is none too pleased. It was a loss of 3 yards on the play into the first quarter, and at the start of the second quarter, Laney will have a 3rd and 13 from the 28. End of 1, West Brunswick 7, Laney 6, right here on ATMC TV. We're back for the start of the second quarter. The Laney Buccaneers facing a 3rd and 13 from the 28-yard line of West Brunswick. West Brunswick leads 7-6. Again, this is the first play of the second quarter. Tight end in motion. Little in the shotgun. Laney going to call a speed option on 3rd and 13, and Laney Little dropped for a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, look who's on top.
Carter Wyatt, 44.
44, yeah.
What a player he is.
Yeah, he was real close on the last play of the first quarter, coming off the edge from the opposite side of the field, and Barry fell down. So a big play by Carter and company sets up a 4th and, well, they got 15 on the scoreboard, but a big play for both teams right now.
I've got 4th and 14 from the 29. Looks like the line to gain is the 15-yard line. West Brunswick saw that Laney left the offense on the field. And, Jay, this is something worth noting. Last week, Laney against Topsail, first possession of the game, Laney faced a 4th and about 8 from its own 43-yard line. Went for it. Did not get it. Got the ball back, had another 4th and long yardage situation on its own side of the field, went for it again, did not get it. So Luke Little was, not even sure that aggressive is the word for it in Laney's season opener against Topsail. I mean hyper, ultra aggressive. And I'm thinking maybe the 3rd down speed option call, maybe you're trying to get 6, 7, 8 yards back to make it a more manageable 4th down. But West Brunswick played it well and forced Laney into a 4th and 14 here from the 29.
Well, you know, the way Coach Little seems to play field position, Sam, when he's willing on kickoffs to give the other team the ball between the 30 and the 40-yard line, I mean, I think he's probably just saying it's 4 downs from wherever we are. I don't know who punts for Laney, but we mightn't see him too much tonight.
Barry in motion.
Turn.
And it is over the head of the Laney receiver and free safety, Monzelle Campbell. The Trojans with a huge stop on that set of downs, Jay. Laney had a 1st and 10 at the West Brunswick 25. The Trojan defense, as we've seen it do so many times, bowed its neck, came up with a huge stop, and will have 1st and 10 at its own 29.
And Sam, I don't know if Monzelle Campbell did this on purpose or not, but I'm going to give him credit for it, because it would not have been a good thing had he intercepted that ball.
No, not at all.
Because the Trojans would have had the ball deep in their territory. As it is, they come out with great field position on their 29. Drew Robinson's still down on the side, Sam. He's hurt.
West Brunswick picks up about 2 yards on 1st down out to the 31-yard line. That was Johnny Magby on the carry. That will set up 2nd and 8 from the West 31.
Yeah, I'm looking at 22 on the side. He is still in some discomfort at about the, 30, between the 35 and the 40-yard line on the west sideline. He's getting some attention from the staff, so hopefully we're going to see him again, but right now I wouldn't bet on it.
Campbell in the shotgun, flanked by Magby. It's 2nd and 8. They're going to throw the swing pass again. Jay, that's behind the line.
That's a lateral.
It's behind the line, and that's going to be
that's a Laney ball, I think.
Football,
yeah,
if they recovered it.
That is a backwards pass, which is a lateral.
Oh, they're saying that West Brunswick recovered it.
Wow, that's great. Great break for the Trojans.
Looks like West recovered it, but, Jay, it's a loss of, the ball's marked at the 20. It was a loss of 11 yards, setting up a 3rd and 19 from the West 20.
Sam, man, that's the best 11-yard loss the Trojans ever had, because that could very easily have been Laney ball.
Or a Laney touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
This time they try and go up the middle with Dylan Bellamy. He was stood up at the line of scrimmage, and West Brunswick got a huge stop, but now will face a 4th down situation and most likely have to punt it right back to the Bucs.
Yeah, Dylan Bellamy, a kid sophomore who one of the running backs off that real good JV team last year. I think these JV teams for Laney and West shared the league championship last year, so a lot of those JV kids are now playing varsity for both these teams. Bellamy is one of them for West, and a pretty good-looking running back early on.
Weston Sharp, the long snapper for West Brunswick. Locke Murphy handles the punting duties. A perfect snap. A wobbly end-over-end kick. Bounces at midfield. Oh, Joy, he's got all kinds of running room. Wyatt, fortunately there. Jay, I believe that's going to come back to the Laney side of the field. They're going to get the Buccaneers for a block in the back around midfield, and the Buccaneers are going to start this possession probably from their own territory if the call is, in fact, charged to Laney. The penalty took place at the 45, so we'll see what the call is. It is an illegal block in the back on the return team. If it's a spot foul and it's 10 yards, the Laney drive will start at its own 45-yard line.
And a nice catch there, Sam Hickman. And big break for the Lancers. That was Chuck Jones on the return, and he did the absolute right thing by fielding that ball the way that he did. And were it not for the penalty on the run back, Buccaneers would have great field position as it is.
Still
not
pretty
too bad.
good.
Yeah,
yep.
45, and Luke Little's team ready to ramp it up with his son, Ty Little, as the quarterback. Wow.
Wyatt came off a block there, still was able to bring Rivera down at the 50-yard line, but not before Rivera was able to fight his way for 5 yards on the rush.
Sam, look at that 25 from the waist down. That kid's got legs the size of tree trunks. This is Rivera. You do not want to tackle fire hydrants, but that's what West Brunswick's going to have to do tonight. Every time number 25, Eli Rivera, gets the ball.
And he's just a junior partner.
Yeah,
Gonna see a lot of him the next couple years.
That might be something against Laney.
Wyatt pointing at Cavius Berry. Berry pointing at Wyatt, and it's going to be a false start. So negate the 5 yards that Rivera got on first down. The ball will be moved back to the 45, where it'll be a 2nd and 10.
Well, I don't know Kai Berry. He may be the valedictorian at Laney, but I do know Carter Wyatt, and that kid's so smart it hurts. So if he says it's on them, chances are it's on them.
Jay, big Carter Wyatt news came out of West Brunswick High School this week.
Fill us in.
I will after this play.
There
Boy,
you
West
go.
Brunswick all
There
over
you
that
go.
one. They stone Rivera at the 44-yard line. Loss of 1 yard, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 11. This week, Carter Wyatt received his first Division I scholarship offers. And Jay,
Michigan or Notre Dame?
the Naval Academy
Get out of here.
and Army at West Point
Why am I
offered
not
Carter Wyatt
surprised?
Division I football scholarships this week.
Both of them.
What an honor for that
Gosh.
kid.
Kid, wow, that is so good to hear.
3rd and 11 from the Laney 44. We'll talk more about that as the game progresses. Boy, Poe caught it. West Brunswick nowhere close. And Poe all the way across the 40 to the 39-yard line. 17 yards from Ty Little to Connor Poe, and Poe is approaching the 100-yard mark receiving in the first half.
You know, Malachi Hewitt, that time, he's been beat a couple of times by Poe behind him. He made sure Poe did not get behind him that time, but maybe gave him just a little bit too much of a cushion up front. So good to read by Little, good catch by Poe, and a nice possession for Laney.
Nice hole there by the Laney offensive line. Rivera knocked down at the 35-yard line after a gain of 4. It'll bring up 2nd and 6 from the West 35.
Got some pretty – we don't have all the sizes for Laney football team. We only take what they provide, and so in that case, Jackson McCollum, he's a big senior. He's the anchor of that offensive line, and he's leading a pretty good offensive line charge here this evening for Laney.
6:55 left before halftime. Rivera caught the option pitch, but then was brought down for a big loss on the play back to the 40-yard line. So, Jay, another 3rd and 11 situation coming up for Laney, this time after a 5-yard loss by Rivera.
Well, and I think I'm right here, but the good news, too, for West Brunswick, in on that stop was True Robinson, right? So
Yep, great news for the Trojans.
Yeah.
Robinson was down earlier with a apparent injury. Little in the shotgun. Another deep pass. This one picked off. And Jay, guess who?
Yeah.
Number 20, Malachi Hewitt gets a bit of revenge on Laney receiver Connor Poe with his first interception of the 2021 season. And the Trojans force a turnover. West Brunswick leads 7-6, but will take over deep in their own territory after Malachi Hewitt's first interception of the year.
Yeah, well, what is it? First time, shame on me. Second time, shame on you or something or whatever, however you say that. But anyhow, Hewitt, right place, right time. And a very nice catch that by Mal on that play. Ball was overthrown by Little, one of the few times tonight that he's really not been accurate with his throw. That one, Hewitt made him pay.
So about midway through the second quarter, West Brunswick with a good little surge that time on the offensive line. But, Jay, even with a little running room, Magby was still knocked down there after about 2.5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 15.
Yeah, so far this evening, I'd say the first quarter and a half, edge Laney within the trench, particularly their defensive line has been very, very tough to run between the tackles. Somehow Trojans got to figure out a way to combat that. And, of course, one way is there's little quick flares or there's little quick passes that you can get somebody out and open. Pressure.
And, Jay, a pretty alert play there by Monzelle Campbell to stay in bounds and throw that one away. It looked like it might be about an 8-yard loss. Campbell wisely throwing it away at the West Brunswick sideline at least gives the Trojans life here with a 3rd and 7, maybe 8 from the 15-yard line.
I'm not sure. He was looking. Cobb was in that area. Murphy was in that area. And it's so hard if you're a right-handed quarterback and if you're running left and trying to throw against your body. But yeah, I think Campbell did a pretty good job that time of not taking a loss and giving them a chance here at 3rd and 7. And a dangerous place on the field to be winging that ball around, though.
5:22 left in the first half. This time Campbell's going to roll out right. He's got
There
a man, enough for the first down yardage and then some. Jay, I believe that was Mike Smith. Mikey Smith, number 35, on the rollout by Monzelle Campbell, hauled in the catch and fought his way to the 30-yard line for a gain of 15 and a much-needed West Brunswick first down.
Well, you can say that again. And Michael Smith, who's listed as a middle linebacker and a tight end, and he had a great game defensively last week against Ashley, but nothing offensively, but he sure made up for it there with a nice catch and run. And boy, I like those tight ends that just put 2 arms on that ball.
Yep.
You tackle me, but you ain't going to take the ball.
Not trying to juke anybody in the open field, you know.
There you
Jay,
go.
there's a little burst there. Jay, is that 15 Dylan Bellamy on the carry all the way across the 35 down at the 37, so 7 yards on first down. It'll be a 2nd and 3 from the West 37.
Yeah, first time the West backs have had any openings to work with tonight, and Bellamy showing he knows what to do when he gets it.
Campbell in the shotgun. He gives it. He's got some running room. He's got enough for the first down yardage all the way out to the 43-yard line, a gain of 6, and another West Brunswick first down.
Yeah, some good work on the right side of that West offensive line. Page, Fullwood, big kid Sharp at center, but nice hole, nice run in that time by the young sophomore Dylan Bellamy.
1st and 10 from the West Brunswick 42, 4:25 left in the first half. Campbell in the shotgun. Kind of a bunched up formation there for West Brunswick. Campbell looks to the sideline to get a signal. That time, Laney's defensive front was up to the task. But, Jay, still not a bad gain there on first down. It was about 3 yards out to the 45, and West Brunswick stays in front of the chains. We'll have a 2nd and 7 from the 45.
Yeah, good presence that time by Maziki. The number 8, Darrell Sutton, junior for the Laney Buccaneers. But yeah, not a bad run that time again by the young sophomore Bellamy.
3:35 left in the first half. Campbell hands it off to True Robinson. He's nailed right at about the line of scrimmage, maybe picked up a half yard to about the 46. And that will set up a 3rd and 6 for the Trojans.
Yeah, a lot of gold hats that time for Laney, but the one that had the big hit was number 40, Emmanuel Bell. What a great name, Sam Hickman.
Good. He's a great high school wrestler.
Yeah, 5'10" senior defensive tackle and in on that stop. So 3rd and 6, kind of a maybe we should, maybe we won't throw, but I'd look to try to take advantage of Monzelle Campbell. Wow, 2 touchdown runs last week, both over 60 yards. You know, if he can get past that initial wave, he can do some damage.
He's just going to take off and run with this one, partner. And there's where Campbell's dangerous with his legs. Laney had it pretty well bottled up, but Campbell was just able to power forward across midfield to about the 47-yard line for 7 yards and a first down.
Yeah, nice effort that time by Monzelle Campbell. A little shifty, right? I mean, he's not a big kid, but showing some good instincts that time and knowing where the sticks were. Picks up that valuable first down.
Campbell alone in the backfield.
Get around the corner.
He does get around the corner. And he's knocked out of bounds, Jay, very close. He is going to have enough for a West Brunswick first down. You see how dangerous he is with the ball in his hands. Just outran a Laney defender to the corner, got 12 yards and a first down.
Yeah, he's got some speed, Sam, and also he's got great running back instincts. You know, you can be real fast and maybe not necessarily be a very good runner with the football, but this kid can do both of it. He can run fast and he can run instinctually, and showed it both on that particular play.
2:11 left in the second quarter. West Brunswick 7, Laney 6. Campbell just tucked it. Now he's going to take off, still on his feet. Finally brought down at about the 35-yard line. So, Jay, somehow, some way, he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that will bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 35.
Yeah, Campbell saved somehow a pretty big loss that time before he was finally taken to the turf by number 24, Jacob Johnson, sophomore defensive back for Laney. But Campbell not getting a lot of time, Sam. He's got to make quick decisions because that Laney rush has been relentless.
I think we got a West Brunswick timeout coming here. And, Jay, suddenly time becoming a factor here, at least as far as this possession goes. 1:28 left before halftime. West Brunswick at the 35-yard line. After the timeout, we'll have a 2nd and 10. Jay, I know West Brunswick called one earlier in the game. I think that was their last one here in the first half. And Jay, you got to think if West could somehow manage to get 10, maybe 12 more yards on this drive, you could at least try a Lock Murphy. I mean, I think that's reasonably within his range. If they could get it to the 25, it would be about a 41-yard, 42-yard attempt.
Yeah, and I think Murphy probably most definitely has the strength to kick field goals from that distance. But, yeah, they need to get a little bit closer than they are right now, Sam, and these next couple of downs will be important.
Jay, I believe we might have a new quarterback into the game for West Brunswick. Patrick Vereen, who started last week. Campbell pretty much has played every snap of defense the last 2 drives and quarterback. So West Brunswick is subbing him out here and going with Campbell's fellow senior quarterback, number 14, Patrick Vereen.
And Pat did have the only touchdown pass of the game last week for West Brunswick, a 24-yard toss to Clemons. He can get around the edge. Go, 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 go. Oh, Murphy.
Murphy nearly came down with it. Jay, Patrick Vereen was about 3 full yards in front of the line of scrimmage when he flung that one. And Jay looked like he could run for about 10 or 15 yards there if he would have just tucked it and ran with it.
Yeah,
but
it sure did, Sam. 2 mistakes that time by Patrick. He wishes he had to do over. One, throwing the ball at all, and secondly, throwing the ball past the line of scrimmage. So that's That's a tough penalty because I think it's a loss of down, isn't it?
Boy, Jay, I of course we'll have to look at it when we see it, on film later. But I thought he
had an illegal forward pass.
at the very least, Jay could have run for 6, 7 yards, and I actually thought on first glance a lot more. But boy, that one's going to push the Trojans way back.
Well, the field goal attempt dream we just got finished talking about turned a little bit into a nightmare. So where are they going to mark it, Sam? They're coming
The
back
39.
up a little bit.
So it's a loss of 4. And, Jay, I believe a loss of down. So it's
yeah.
going to be 3rd and 14 from the 39-yard line of the Bucs. Vereen in the shotgun. Game clock at 1:18. They're going to keep it on the ground this time. Vereen with a big gain, fighting for yardage. Finally knocked down at about the 26-yard line. Jay, he is going to be shy of the line to gain, but West Brunswick, it's going to be right at 4th and 1 after the 13-yard gain by Vereen.
But, credit Patrick Vereen that time because he knew he was real close to that first down marker. He's stretching out, trying to get every bit of it.
49 seconds left. And he stopped. Magby stopped after a loss of 3 yards, brought down at the 29-yard line with 44 seconds left here before halftime. A huge 4th down stop by the Laney Bucs.
Yeah, and even though there's only, essentially 45 seconds left here in the second quarter, I hate to give the ball back over to the dangerous Ty Little, because he's got some capable receivers. His offensive line has given him time to throw, and that could be a dangerous formula for West Brunswick. See what they can do on this first down. Get some pressure on Little.
So still 44 seconds to go before halftime. Little drilled by True Robinson, who kind of chased him down from behind the play. Leveled him at the 30-yard line. So give Little 1 yard on the scramble. Jay, he's banged up. He walked very slowly back to the huddle there after Laney called a timeout. So the Bucs will have a 2nd and 9 from their own 30-yard line with 36 seconds left before halftime. Jay, what's the plan here to keep everything in front of you if you're West Brunswick?
Well, absolutely. One touchdown tonight occurred when Poe got behind Hewitt. So, keep them in front of you, and let's try to see if is Little still – he come out with him, Sam?
No, he's out there.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he was walking. He just kind of grabbed his right hip and bent over at the waist. So.
But by the way, that was a pretty good play that time by
Michael
Simpson.
Yeah, the sophomore.
Yeah, he held his ground, and then he let 22 True Robinson do the rough work.
He's a young kid that the West Brunswick coaching staff is really excited about. Barry in motion. He's brought down.
Who's that?
Huge play by number 22, True Robinson, who stops Barry about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. About 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and the game clock all the way under 20 seconds. Jay, I'll be interested to see with a 3rd and about 16 if Laney won't just take this one into halftime.
They're letting it run, Sam. Truth will be served.
Great play there by number 22, True Robinson. And, Jay, quick wrap for the first half. West Brunswick will enter the break with a 7-6 lead.
Got off to kind of a rough start, climbed off the mat, and played more West Brunswick-like football and gets into the locker room with a 7-6 lead.
On ATMC TV, it's West Brunswick 7, Laney 6. Get ready for an exciting second half. We'll have all the action for you after the break. Welcome back to ATMC TV. We're almost set for the start of the second half. West Brunswick leads Laney 7-6. Laney got on the board first with a 30-yard touchdown strike from Ty Little to Connor Poe, but West Brunswick answered. A couple of big catches from Avery Clemons and a 9-yard touchdown pass from Monzelle Campbell to senior tailback Johnny Magby. Locke Murphy converted the extra point to put West ahead 7-6. Partner?
Yeah, the difference in the game right now is that Murphy point after, and let me tell you, maybe that's the result of some hard work this past week, because point afters were adventures last week against Ashley, but Locke's kick was true and has given them the 1-point lead here as we start the third quarter.
High end-over-end kick. Laney return man knocked out of bounds shy of the 30-yard line. Pretty good kick coverage there by West Brunswick. Actually, the return man, Jay, was that number 3 there? Alan Huff,
yeah.
All the way out to the 30-yard line where Laney will have a 1st and 10.
Yeah, Huff did a pretty good job returning that one. I was trying to see last week he punt return for 14 yards on the punt return. I didn't see any kickoff returns.
So Laney with a 1st and 10, Ty Little under center, Eli Rivera in the backfield, 2 receivers to the top of the screen, 1 to the bottom. And Jay, the game clock is all the way down at 11:17, and all we've had is 1 kickoff, so we're going to have to reset the game clock before the first play from scrimmage of the third quarter.
Even that, 11:28, I guess they're going to run with that, Sam. But
whoa,
still seems like a lot of time.
How could you have had a 32-second kick return? Well, anyway, first snap of the third quarter, Rivera wrestled down 43, Hyson Hussein. We got a Trojan who's limping after the play, Patrick Vereen. But Smith and Hyson Hussein there for a Rivera loss of 1. It'll be a 2nd and 11 from the 29.
Yeah, good start for the Trojans on that particular play. Didn't get a lot of pressure, not much going on in the backfield of Laney in the first half. Nice to see Hussein show his presence.
Little rolls out. He's looking for a receiver. Oh, a good play by number 22, True Robinson. He sacks Ty Little behind the line of scrimmage at the 27-yard line. Oh, we'll give him the 28. So a loss of 1 sets up a 3rd and 12 from the Laney 28.
True Robinson serving up the truth again, Sam. That's for my daughter up in Leesburg, Virginia, who tunes in on the Facebook telecast here at ATMC. But truth will be served by True Robinson.
So Laney faces a 3rd and 12. Barry's in motion. It's a tunnel screen. West Brunswick defended it very, very well. Hyson Hussein there on the tackle, but the pass was complete for about 4 yards there to the 32. And it'll set up a 4th and 8 from the 32-yard line of the Bucks.
Maybe first punt of the night, I believe, for Laney, and a much better, boy, some adjustments. They say football games are oftentimes the adjustments that are made at the halftime. I think that West staff made a couple of adjustments, at least on that first possession for Laney. West looked like a different team defensively.
And Jay, look at this. After muffing 2 punts last week, West Brunswick doesn't even have a man back there. And it's a short punt. West Brunswick's trying to get out of the way. Oh, man, it very nearly hit number 8, Tupac Coogee, but it, fortunately for the Trojans, did not, and comes to rest at the 39-yard line. A 29-yard punt. The Trojans will take over 1st and 10 from their own 39.
I'll tell you what, if that ball had hit Coogee, Brett Hickman would have got on him like Cujo. So
you bet.
Oh, my gracious, because Tupac did not see that ball. So Trojans get a good break, and they also get, more importantly, good field position to start this first possession of the third quarter.
Senior Monzelle Campbell, a transfer from East Columbus High School, had a big opening week in the win over Ashley. Been pretty quiet so far here tonight. Throws the swing pass out to Johnny Magby. Magby's got running room. Magby's got running room across the 40, down at the 39-yard line. A gain of 22 yards on 1st and 10. And the Trojans in business here early in the third.
Just get that ball out. Little quick sweeps, tosses, whatever the heck you want to call it, to those kids like Magby who can run like the wind. And excellent first call by West on their possession here in the third quarter. A real good way to start the second half for West, both defensively and offensively.
So there's a 23-yard completion to the 38. Campbell this time is going to keep it and run. A good gain on 1st down by Monzelle Campbell all the way to the 31-yard line for a gain of 7. It'll set up a 2nd and 3 with 8.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
A nice tackle that time by number 6, senior Max Mondello for Laney High School. Some help from Darrell Sutton from his linebacker position, but an excellent run by senior Monzelle Campbell.
2nd and 3 from the 31-yard line. Campbell in the shotgun.
Blitz.
Jay still on his feet somehow. I don't know how he did it, but he's finally rode out of bounds all the way at the 19-yard line. Talk about making chicken salad there. Looked like he might get stopped for a loss. Instead, he's inside the 20 to the 19 for a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
Oh, Campbell did so many things good on that play. We could talk about it all night. But the first thing, I think, was just being able to hang on to the football, because one of the Laney tacklers really made a hard attempt at the ball. Campbell didn't give it up and picks up valuable yards.
Magby's going to keep it this time. A better job by the Laney defensive line, kind of standing Magby up there at maybe the 17-yard line. A gain of 2 will set up a 2nd and 8.
Boy, Sam, can't you just see a play where Monzelle Campbell fakes it to the up back, Johnny Magby in this case, and just kind of tucks it back in and boom, hits the edges, boom, down the field you go.
And Jay, maybe some foreshadowing there. We'll have to see how the second half unfolds. Right now it's 2nd and 8 from the 17 of Laney with 7:20 left in the third quarter.
We ain't gonna fake no handoff on this one, Sam Hickman.
No, there's nobody to fake it to.
Get it
Instead,
out there.
it's out to Magby. A great open field tackle by the member of the Laney defensive backfield. Sorry, I couldn't get a number there,
I think it was
partner.
21, Chuck Jones,
wow,
I believe.
Great eyes.
Well, helps that we got a monitor, and that just makes it so much easier for all of us. But, yeah, it was a nice tackle by Jones. But, again, love the concept. Get the ball out. Let these guys do something. Make a small play turn into a big play. That 7 becomes a 70.
3rd and 3 from the 12-yard line of Laney. Quarterback power around the right side. Campbell still on his feet, knocked down at about the 7 or 8 yard line. And, Jay, that's enough for a West Brunswick 1st down.
Boy, I like the deliberateness of that play. There was no doubt when Campbell received the snap, boom, he's heading off the right side. Some good blocks on the right side of that line by Fullwood and company. So 1st down and goal for West Brunswick.
From the 8. 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Magby in the backfield flanking Campbell. And, Jay, I believe they're going to get Laney for an offsides. The Trojan offensive line signaling that the penalty will be against the Buccaneers. We'll wait on the call from the White Hat. It is offside, so the Trojans catch a break there instead of 1st and goal from the 8. That's going to move the ball inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. So West Brunswick 1st and goal from the 4, 6:20 left in the third.
Yeah, this is a really golden opportunity for the Trojans to come away here with points, and not field goals, but touchdowns.
Campbell around the left side, very close. Jay, I believe they're going to mark him down at about the half-yard line. probably a good decision not reaching the ball out there as Laney defenders are right on top of them. But West Brunswick has a 2nd and goal, and Jay, you can't get much closer to the goal line without being in than Campbell did right there.
Yeah, Mason Vaughn in on the stop for Laney, but a good decision by Campbell.
Campbell's going to get under center, try to force his way in, and he is in. A West Brunswick touchdown, 1-yard quarterback sneak by Monzelle Campbell, and the Trojans lead 13-6 with 5:32 left in the third. What an impressive 61-yard drive by the West Brunswick Trojans. Lock Murphy on to attempt an extra point.
And Sam, let's give Tristan Daniel an assist on that from his offensive line position. Big 72 helped push Campbell into the end zone.
Jay, a huge extra point here. Lock Murphy's kick is up.
It
is good. And, Jay, that's huge because now even a Laney touchdown and a successful 2-point conversion can only tie the game and not put Laney ahead. So West Brunswick 2 for 2 in extra points tonight, and the Trojans have a 14-6 lead.
Hey, Sam, credit that West staff. I don't know who coaches special teams for West, but they were as sad as they looked last week in special teams. They looked that good tonight. Great job.
5:32 left in the third quarter. West Brunswick leads 14-6. And Lock Murphy will handle the kickoff duties for the Trojans. Jay, what worked so well for West Brunswick on that possession?
Well, Campbell did a lot, but, finally it seems like the West offensive line kind of made a statement on that drive. They got pushed around a little bit in the first half, but clearly not on that possession. And I love when they get the ball out quick to Johnny, or if they can get it to JJ, or if they can get it to Murphy. But these kids who just have such great speed and athleticism, they don't need a lot of room to make plays happen.
So 5:32 left in the third. West 14, Laney 6. Murphy with a low driving kick this time. Fielded at the 1-yard line. Laney will have room for a return, but I believe that's 44 Carter Wyatt who drops number 3 there, Allen Huff, right at the 15-yard line. So not great starting field position for the Buccaneers.
Look at that kid, folks, number 44. You watch him because he's going to be playing big time on Saturdays in a couple of years, and who knows beyond that. But what a wonderful football player is number 44, Carter White. As Sam told us earlier, been offered this week, and he's only a junior, remember, but been offered by the Naval Academy and West Point. So that's tall cotton, man.
That's going to be a false start penalty against the Laney Bucks, and a drive that should have started at the 15-yard line will now start at the 10 with a 1st and 15 after the procedure penalty against the Bucks.
And Sam, what's that say, to the rest of your stud linebacker? I mean, that's what Wyatt is. But he plays special teams, right? And plays them pretty well, as you saw on that particular kick coverage. This young team for Laney, they're kind of on their heels right now. This would be a great opportunity for West to come up with a big play defensively.
Little drops back, fires a fade route. Malachi Yu is there, and Poe makes the catch anyway. And Jay, what's really interesting, before the snap, Caleb Pardue and Brett Hickman were yelling at free safety Johnny Magby to go help over the top, and he started moving in that direction, just didn't quite get there quick enough. Great throw and catch, and a gain of 36 yards from Ty Little to Connor Poe.
Boy, I got finished saying, I said that, maybe the West defense could make a big play. Well, who makes the big play? Ty Little and Poe, as they have been doing all night long.
Little rolls out to his right. Oh, Jay, he's got a man.
We missed him.
Had a man alone in the secondary, but just off the hands of number 7, Carson Adkins, the sophomore. That'll set up a 2nd and 10 from the Laney 46.
Yeah, Adkins is the backup quarterback, but plays a lot of different positions for Luke Little, Laney Bucks, and he was wide open that time, but Ty Little just missed him.
So defensive adjustment made, and Little looks to the sideline to get the play. 4:58 left here in the third. Trip Hardy there on the tackle. Ball out, West Brunswick says, but I think the referees ruled that the ball carrier was down just shy of midfield, and that will set up a 3rd and 7 from the 49-yard line.
Well, another big down and distance situation here for Laney. 3rd and 6, you would kind of expect Ty Little will be winging it, but West's got to be prepared for both and just around midfield.
So 3rd and 7 from the 49-yard line. 4:15 left here in the third quarter. Little's under siege. And a big hit. Guess who? Number 44, Carter Wyatt, with a huge stop there on 3rd down. And, Jay, not only did he stop him short, that's a loss of 3 yards to set up a 4th and 10 from the 46.
And, folks, that's a big-time hit by a big-time player, Mr. Carter Wyatt. 6'2", 215, strong and fast. And, yes, you could tell, a very sure tackler in the open field.
3:40 left in the third quarter. Boy, Laney's got a good long snapper. Another short punt. West Brunswick just going to run away from it. It takes a West Brunswick bounce and is down at about the 33-yard line, where West Brunswick will take over up by 8 at the 33.
Well, the big defensive play that time by Wyatt gives West the ball in pretty good field position to start this drive at around their, 32, 33, Sam, I guess?
Yeah, 33, roughly.
3.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter, and the Trojans with a 14-6 lead. Wow, nice long drive to add another score would be good.
Yep, that would be what the doctor ordered for West Brunswick. Monzelle Campbell and Johnny Magby, the 2 seniors in the backfield for West. Campbell fakes the throw. Jay somehow still on his feet. Have no idea how. He's still fighting for yardage. Finally wrestled down at about the 46-yard line. A gain of about 21 yards and a West Brunswick first down. How does he do this?
Sam, is he fun to watch or is he fun to watch?
Boy, he is just something with the ball in his hands.
I mean, he did this last week against Ashley, a couple of touchdown runs over 60 yards, but he's elusive and pretty darn strong too. And gosh, he's just got such great instincts for running the football. Kind of has that sixth sense, if you will, where a defender is coming and he goes the other way.
So 1st and 10 at the 46.
Okay,
Laney
nice
had that one read, and Johnny Magby was drilled at the 48-yard line of West Brunswick. Jay, that's a loss of 6 yards, and will bring up a 2nd and 16 from the West 48.
Sam, look, sometimes you just get beat, and that time the Trojans got beaten principally because of the nice play by number 18, Charlie Bishop. He is a senior defensive player for Laney, another one of those transfers from New Hanover. And, he knows what it's like to win, so he's trying to bring that winning culture here to Laney.
And West Brunswick's going to have to use one of its 3 second-half timeouts with 2:03 left in the third. West Brunswick 14, Laney 6. Jay, we're going to take a quick minute here to read a message from the West Brunswick Booster Club. Again, this message from the West Brunswick Booster Club. We would like to thank our scoreboard sponsors for all their support of the West Brunswick Booster Club and the Trojan student athletes. We couldn't do what we do without the support of these businesses. Papa John's and Russ and Gore Inc. Again, Papa John's and Russ and Gore Inc. Scoreboard sponsors. Also, a special thank you to the Booster Club's VIP sponsors: Allen Holden Vacations, Benchmark Physical Therapy, Coastal Insurance, Cox Subscriptions, David and Cindy Hewitt, Don and Judy Evans, Duffers, Ella's of Calabash, Farm Bureau Insurance, First Bank of Shiloh and Ocean Isle, Floor Coverings International, Hobbs Realty, Highway 55, and Jay, at our next break, I'll read off a handful more of VIP sponsors of the West Brunswick Booster Club.
Tell you what, and you need it. You really need it to build a program, and the community has gotten behind the Trojans. Here
Oh,
you
yeah,
go,
it's a
Sam.
reverse.
Come on, use
J.J.
it,
Cobb.
use it.
He's got some running room, still on his feet.
Use it.
Inside the 30. Huge run by the sophomore slot, J.J. Cobb, all the way from the Trojan 48 to the 30-yard line, a gain of 22 and a West Brunswick first down.
Yeah, that's what we thought we would see more of, and certainly as the season progresses, no doubt if you are a fan of West Brunswick football, you will. J.J. Speed's got J.J. Cobb. We'll change his name to J.J. Speed because he can run really, really fast. We saw him on the basketball court, but it's on the football field where he can really use that speed and become dangerous, and you saw it on that play on the reverse.
So inside the 2-minute mark here in the quarter, Laney does a good job standing up Magby there and wrestling him down. Some great penetration by the Laney defense. That's actually a loss of 1 yard on the play, bringing up a 2nd and 11 from the 31.
Yeah, that's that guy Barron there for Laney, number 64. And he's just been in the middle of a lot of tackles here this evening for the Buccaneers.
1:20 left in the third quarter. West Brunswick 14, Laney 6. This drive, Monzelle Campbell's had a 21-yard run, and J.J. Cobb has had a 22-yard gain on a reverse. Campbell in the shotgun. Drops back to pass, fires a deep one. He's got a man. It's caught! It's caught! What a grab! Number 13, Avery Clemons, with a minute left in the third quarter. What a throw and catch from Monzelle Campbell to the 10th grader, Avery Clemons. Jay, that's back-to-back weeks with a touchdown grab from Avery Clemons, the sophomore receiver emerging as a young star here in week 1 and 2 for West Brunswick. Wow.
Sam, that was pretty good coverage that
Great
time by
coverage.
Laney, but
Incredible coverage.
you know, we talked about Clemens' concentration in that first catch in the first half, and look at Locke.
Locke Murphy's kick is up, splits the uprights. He's a perfect 3 of 3 tonight, and the Trojans have had a wonderful third quarter, having outscored the Bucks 14-0 and take a 21-6 lead into the late stages of the third.
But Sam, we talked about the great sideline catch in the second quarter, I guess, first quarter. Avery Clemons made, and we commented on, wow, that's great concentration on the young sophomore. You saw it again there because that was really legit press coverage that time. But somehow Clemons just looked it through, brought the ball in, and gets into the end zone for the score. So excellent play, nice pass by Monzelle Campbell, and better yet for the Trojans, a nice 21-6 lead with 1 minute left in the third quarter.
Jay, I have no idea how Avery Clemons, I thought it might be a potential interception there when it got close to the receiver and the cornerback. Somehow Clemons hauled it in and was just across the goal line for a West Brunswick touchdown. So 21-6, exactly a minute left in the third quarter.
Well, your job this week is to find out where Avery Clemons came from, and does he have any brothers that'll be along the way too, right? Look at
Locke Murphy just booming kicks, lands it right at the 1 yard line. And Laney got a return here. 44, Carter Wyatt levels the return man and got whistled for a late hit, which will carry, Jay, it's marked at the 23. Laney will actually start this possession at the 38 after they flag Carter Wyatt for a late hit out of bounds. Jay, True Robinson's hurt. He just waved to the defensive coaches that he would have to come off the field.
Well, he got nicked up in the first half, and golly day, the way he was being looked at, I didn't think we'd see him again tonight. He set out about 3 plays, and he was right back in doing his serving up the truth. But he has come out. Maybe it's cramps, maybe a leg cramp, Sam. Seems like they're working on him.
So the ball will be marched out to the 38-yard line where Laney will take over 1st and 10, and 55 and some change seconds left here in the third quarter. West Brunswick leads by 15, 21-6. Jay, we've seen how explosive this Laney offense can be with Ty Little to Connor Poe, so a long way to go in this one, partner.
Oh yeah, a lot of shots downfield left in that arm of Ty Little, I'm sure.
West Brunswick is there. Tyleek Webb, number 71, Luke King, and guess who? The senior Hyson Hussein there to bring down the ball carrier at the 36-yard line. So a loss of 2 yards. It'll be a second and a long 12, maybe a short 13, but a big tackle by Hyson Hussein, the senior, for a 2-yard loss.
You know, and Hussein last year kind of got lost in the shadows of the McCray guys, right? Savion and Javian, and no shame there. But this is his senior year. He's got a chance to step up and make a difference.
That one over the outstretched hands of Cavius Berry falls to the turf incomplete. That will set up a 3rd and 12 from the 36-yard line of the Buccaneers with 13.2 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Other than one kind of a long gain, I think, in the first quarter with Berry, he's been held under wraps tonight, which is a good thing. Poe has done some damage to West, but Trojans defense bending a little, but not breaking much.
3rd and 12, 13 seconds left. Little looking to the sideline for the play. Rivera is going to switch over to Little's right. It's a deep ball and knocked away. Great play closing on the ball there. That was number 8, Tupac Coogee, who was step for step with number 7, Carson Adkins. And Jay, with 6 seconds left in the third, incomplete pass is going to force Laney into a 4th and 12 or 13, and once again bring on the punt team. Would I tell you what that was? An excellent throw by the sophomore quarterback, Ty Little. He put it in one spot where only his guy could catch it, and Atkins almost came up with a great play.
And pretty darn good defense by Coogee on that play.
A spiraling kick, angling toward the West Brunswick bench. A great Laney bounce, trickles out of bounds at the 32-yard line. So let's see, Jay, 14 and 18, a 32-yard punt. And when we return for the start of the fourth quarter, the Trojans will be clinging to a 21-6 lead here at M.H. Rourke Stadium. West Brunswick ball up by 15 here on ATMC TV. We are almost set to start the fourth quarter here at M.H. Rourke Stadium. Jay, the Trojans with a impressive showing here in the third quarter, outscored Laney 14-0 and have a 21-6 lead here as we start the fourth and final frame.
Well, as we were talking about, Sam, in the third quarter, they say a lot of football games are won with the adjustments that the coaching staff makes. I'd say West, pretty good job of adjustments.
There's Campbell, Jay, again, a good gain on first down all the way out to about the 30, we'll give him the 39-yard line for a gain of, 6 yards to the 38. It'll set up a 2nd and 4.
He just kind of glides along and looks for, he doesn't need a big opening, right? He just needs enough to kind of squeeze through there. And I think he's deceptively fast, and I also think he's deceptively strong.
That's Johnny Magby, a good hit there in the back in the middle of the field. That was number 24, Jacob Johnson, the sophomore linebacker, with a big hit, but not before Magby picked up 6 yards and a West Brunswick first down.
Tell you what, football is a collision sport, and you saw it right there with Magby and 24, Jake Johnson.
So game clock down to about 11:05 left. Campbell in the shotgun. Trip receivers to the bottom of your screen. Campbell's going to keep this one. Not much running room there. Somehow gains positive yardage from the 44 to about the 48-yard line. So, Jay, that was probably one of West Brunswick's least effective running plays of the second half, and it still picked up 4 yards to the 48.
Yeah, and you know, again, Campbell, he just kind of goes where they ain't, you know. You think not much there, and you look up and yeah, it's 3, it's 4, it's 15, you know. So nice effort by the senior.
They're going to run power around the right side this time. Oh, and this time Campbell lowers his shoulder across midfield and gets to the opponent's 48-yard line, partner. So there's another 4 yards, and it'll set up a 3rd and 2 from the Laney 48.
Yeah, 18 Charlie Bishop with the big hit that time, but Monzelle Campbell, you know, showed an ability that time to lower the shoulder and take on the hit. Sam, I don't know, how big is Campbell? That 6 foot maybe?
Not even.
60?
I don't think he's 6 foot.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a giant.
Maybe 5'10", 170, 5'11", somewhere in there.
Very athletic kid.
Jay, maybe a hard count here? No, we're going to see a quarterback sneak, and Campbell got enough, partner. He's going to have enough, and Jay, I know it's just a simple 3rd and 2 from about the 48-yard line, but that's a huge play because now there's 9.5 minutes left, and there's another fresh set of downs for West Brunswick, and you've noticed the Trojans getting a little more deliberate here in the 4th quarter.
And keep those chains moving, right? And that's exactly what you want to do. And
1st and 10 from the 45-yard line of the Buccaneers. 9:10 left in the game. West Brunswick leads 21-6, and that's going to be a free 5 yards as Manuel Bell commits an encroachment penalty, and it will be 1st and 5 now from the 40-yard line.
You know, all things considered, though, Sam, not a lot of penalties tonight.
No, pretty clean.
You know, so which is really good coaching, good signs for both squads, right? As the opening night jitters are behind them and kind of settling into high school football.
Coach Hickman slows them down. Campbell and Magby look over to the sideline to get the play call. Little confusion there, but now the Trojans are set up. Campbell fakes the bubble screen, bursts through the line, and he is dragged down at the 35-yard line. Jay, that's exactly where the line to gain was, and they are going to say that Campbell had enough for the 1st down yardage, and so it'll be a 1st and 10 now from the 35-yard line of the Laney Bucks.
You know, Monzelle Campbell starting to add up some yards here tonight. He had 141 rushing last week. I don't know if he's at 100 yet, but he's in the ballpark.
He is, Jay. He's got 22 on this drive alone and had a 21-yard rush last drive. So there's 43. Johnny Magby hit right after he got the handoff. And you see, Jay, anytime these Trojan ball carriers are anticipating contact, they're covering up that ball. You definitely don't want to just give the ball away to the Buccaneers here. That was a 1-yard gain on 1st down, and it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 34-yard line of the Buccaneers.
65, Jay Fullwood, right tackle for West Brunswick, checking out of the game. In for him is a senior Trey Jones. So hopefully Fullwood is okay.
He's being tended to by the training staff here on the home bench. 7.5 minutes to go in the game. Campbell makes one miss, and then I think he ran into the back of his own offensive lineman. number 8, Dyrell Sutton, the junior linebacker, was in. So give Campbell a yard. So back-to-back 1-yard gains by West Brunswick, and a good job by the Laney defense pushing the Trojans into a 3rd and 8 situation.
Well, clearly West Brunswick in 4-down territories, right? So want to make sure that they maintain possession here, and if they can't get a first down, make a 4th and doable situation.
Jay, I'm not so sure this late that if it doesn't get real close to the first down marker here, that the Trojans don't try to a quick kick of some sort and maybe try to pin Laney deep with a 2-possession lead. 6.5 minutes left. It'll be interesting to see. But before the 3rd down play, West Brunswick head coach Brett Hickman wants a timeout. That's West Brunswick's 2nd of the 2nd half. Laney has all 3 of its timeouts left. So Jay set us up here. It's West Brunswick 21-6, but the Trojans have a 3rd and 8. How aggressive do you get here on this 3rd down call?
Well, you get as aggressive as you can be without turning that ball over, Sam. The Trojans have done a good job tonight, except for that interception way back
First
in the
drive
first
of the
drive.
game. Yep.
You know, they have done an excellent job of maintaining possession of the football, and that's so very important. They really have played a fairly clean game here this evening in terms of penalties. So that can be a pretty good formula, and you pop a big play in here and there, and all of a sudden you look up and you've got a real, what at this point looks to be a pretty safe 21-6 lead. It would be safer if they could get a couple of more points on the board. But
and Jay, even if the drive doesn't result in points, if they could get one more first down, the Trojans could move the game clock into that 4-minute range, which, anytime you keep it away from Ty Little this late in the game with a lead, that's a good thing for West Brunswick.
You only have so many possessions, right, you can do, and got to get to the outside.
Jay Campbell's
Sam.
around.
Oh,
He's
my.
around the outside. Monzelle Campbell.
Gone.
He may go. Touchdown. Number 2. Monzelle Campbell. No laundry on the field. A 33-yard touchdown run by the senior transfer from East Columbus. Monzelle Campbell has given the Trojans a 27-6 lead. 6:24 left in the game. Jay, we waited for it all night. When's Campbell going to get loose for that big one? When's he going to get loose for that big one? Bingo. There it was.
Yeah, he just kind of bounces here and bounces there. And in this case, he bounce right down into the end zone for what could very well be the start the bus up score, right? Because at 27-6 with Murphy on for the extra, Trojans, they're coming. They're getting there. Okay.
Oh, Jay.
What we got?
Jay, here's what happened. Locke Murphy was banged up on the play,
okay, Sam.
on the scoring play, limped off the field, and so West Brunswick is going to leave its offense on the field and attempt a 2-point conversion, unless maybe Murphy's – no, Jay, he's not. He's laying on his back on the field.
Oh, I see him
down
now,
here at
Sam.
about the 35-yard line.
Okay.
So I believe with no backup kicker, Coach Hickman's going to leave Monzelle Campbell and the offense on the field. And, Jay, to your point a few moments ago, if Monzelle wasn't over 100 before that run, he is now.
Yeah. So a touchdown pass for Monzelle tonight, a touchdown. And he's run the offense awfully well, particularly after that rough start, And hey, I love the fact for Coach Hickman and these Trojans that they took that big punch in the opening quarter.
Boy, did they ever. I think there was some folks in the stadium wondering if they might get run out of here. Because Laney, it wasn't just that they scored, it was that they scored so easily.
Mm-hmm.
Rivera was running for 12, 11, 15 yards, and Little was just finding Poe effortlessly. And Jay, that's the last points Laney had scored.
Yeah.
So here comes the 2-point try. West leads 27-6. Campbell's in the shotgun. He's going to try the power around the right side. He's going to get there. He is. He scoots in between the pylon in the corner of the end zone. 2-point try, successful. And, Jay, the comeback attempt was just made that much more difficult, as now West Brunswick's lead despite what the scoreboard shows, is 29-6 with 6:24 left in the game.
Yeah, I glanced up there, Sam, and I thought, holy moly, it must
It's
be
closer than we thought.
the new math, right? But, yeah, you just got a little error on the board right now, but no error in that particular possession for Monzelle Campbell and his West Brunswick Trojans, and a very commanding 29-6 lead. And kind of a weird game, don't you think?
Yeah, and Jay, for a game that only had 2 combined touchdowns in the first half, West Brunswick has scored on every one of its second-half possessions.
Now,
all 3 second-half possessions have resulted in West Brunswick touchdowns.
And Sam Hickman, that is why they pay you the big bucks, to make that connection, which is an outstanding observation on your part. But good second half for West offensively and defensively, and with a big lead now. Still 6:24 to go. So
still some work to do.
Yeah, and who's kicking? Is Locke back
out there?
Murphy's
back in there.
Okay. Kids.
My dad or brother would have said last year, for a soccer player, he's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Murphy said, you know what? I'm just going to go play all football. And Jay, maybe the injury impacted West Brunswick's decision right there, but West Brunswick had 2 players right there who were at about the 43-yard line before Murphy kicked the ball. Jay, interesting note from this second half. We talked a lot leading up to the season about how this West Brunswick offense would be more explosive and have more big play capability, and that's true. But the 3 scoring drives in the second half tonight have been methodical. You know, they've been marches, 6 here, 8 there, 12 here. They did have the big play strike to Clemons in the corner of the end zone for a long touchdown pass. Otherwise, they've been, 7, 8, 9, 10 play drives.
Yeah, they have, Sam. And listen, I still think before this season's over, this team will figure out a way to take advantage of some of these quick players they have. You saw it on the reverse with Cobb tonight. You saw it on a couple of the flare passes to Magby, and I think you'll see a lot of different things.
That's going to be a late hit. Yep.
Was that a fair catch?
It was a fair catch, and Avery Clemons went and nailed the receiver. And Jay, Laney's going to start this possession at about the 38-yard line of West Brunswick.
Good grief. Where do you kick off from? Like the 35?
35. Jay, I can't help but wonder if because of Murphy's injury that they went with a pooch kick.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know.
But that's going to be 15 yards from the 48. So, yeah, it's going to be at the 37-yard line of West Brunswick. And the last thing you wanted to do with 6:24 left in the game is to give Laney a chance for a quick score. And, who knows? 6 minutes is a long time when you have all 3 of your timeouts left.
Well, yeah, and the fact of the matter is this kid Ty Little, if given the chance to throw, the time to throw, can be pretty scary. Gosh, he's only a 10th grader.
Boy, he is going to be some kind of a special high school football player before his time at Laney is done.
Second varsity game, and he's shown he can spin it now.
There's a deep ball to Mal Hewitt.
Connor
Poe caught it.
That's a touchdown, Sam, or close to it.
And he is dragged down at about the 1-yard line. Boy, Connor Poe just having himself a night. Mal Hewitt looked like he was there for that one, Jay, just kind of waiting on it. And Poe kind of zipped right around him and caught it. And Jay, Laney a yard away from a score and, having a less than 30-second long touchdown drive as the Laney switching some personnel onto the field. West Brunswick probably has to get its hands team ready, maybe anticipating an onside kick if Laney can punch it in here from the 1-yard line.
Well, once again, Little delivers a strike, and Poe.
Oh, Jay, the ball's on the ground. It's on the ground in the back of the end zone, and Johnny Magby recovers. What a colossal blunder by the Laney offense. They kick it into the end zone. Johnny Magby falls on it, and Jay, all you can say to that is when it's your night, it's your night.
Yeah, and that play maybe
wow,
explains it as well as any, Sam. Holy cow, I couldn't even tell what the heck happened. The next thing you know.
The snap never made it back to Little.
Right.
It's like someone in motion. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Like, was there a man in motion? It looked like the snap hit the up back, and in the reach to get it, it got kicked. It got kicked into the end zone. The Laney receiver didn't even realize what was happening, and Johnny Magby went and fell on it. Well, it'll be West ball at its own 20.
Nobody really knew what was happening, including me. But I do know that Magby fell on it, and that was good.
So the scoreboard here in the stadium, Jay, shows West Brunswick leading 23-6. Because we're experts, we know it's actually 29-6. That was Bellamy who got 2 yards on first down to set up a 2nd and 8 from the West 22.
I don't know if we'll get any shots before we leave this evening, but behind the scoreboard is that big new whatever is it called?
Field house.
Yeah, man, 25,000 square feet. What a baby that is.
It is massive. And, Jay, if you're West Brunswick, you're not going to get in any hurry to snap the ball here, with a 23-point lead late, right?
Nope, and you really want to cover up that ball, as you were talking about earlier, and that's Bellamy again on the cover, on the run, and doing a good job of hanging on to the football. So at this point, Laney just have to play out of desperation. He'll tackle the ball as much as they'll tackle the ball carrier, trying to shake it loose for a turnover. But West should turn this ball back over to Laney under 4 minutes to go.
Campbell in the shotgun, 3rd and 6 or 7 from about the 23-yard line. High snap. West just going to run the quarterback power around the right side. He tried his best to stay in bounds, and he did, Jay. The referee is waving on the game clock, so a heady play there, knowing he couldn't get the yardage for the first down, but Campbell just stops there at the sideline, falls down, and Laney's going to stop the clock on their own with the first of their 3 second-half timeouts. After the timeout, West Brunswick will surely punt, facing a 4th and 5 from its own 25-yard line.
Yeah, I see Murphy running up and down the sidelines and running over into the huddle. Number 5, the place kicker and the punter this year for West Brunswick. So looks like Locke's going to be able to kick this one away. And as you said, Sam, 3:58 to go, 4th quarter. West Brunswick with a commanding 29-6 lead. West got a chance here to get off to a good 2-0 start.
JD, I'm sorry, partner.
No.
Regardless of how far you actually punt the ball, I think the main objective here is just get it away.
Yeah.
I thought Laney would kind of just plan on sending, 10 or 11 rushers and try to block it and maybe get a score that way. But they have 2 deep return men. Looks like they're in some kind of punt safe formation. So with 3:58 to go in the game, West will have to punt for the first time in the second half, leading by 23 points. Weston Sharp handles the long snapping duties, and that's exactly what Murphy does, and it's a shank, partner.
Well, that came.
He just kicked it kind of straight out of bounds, and it's going to be marked off here. We'll see. Marked out of bounds right at the 40-yard line, so a 15-yard punt. And Jay, maybe exactly what he was instructed to do. Don't let Laney get a block punt or a chance for a return.
Yeah, and you know what? You mentioned it, Weston Sharp he is the long snapper. He long snapped last year as a freshman, and wow, that helps, right? Such an important position, but he's dead on with his snap on that one, and Locke didn't get a long kick, but he did get it off, right? So that's what they were trying to do.
Jay, and I tell you, whoever the what a hit!
Hello.
44, Carter Wyatt bringing the boom here late in the 4th quarter.
And
nails Eli by Rivera. A loss of 6 yards brings a 2nd and 16.
Should we sing a little "Anchors Away"?
Boy.
For the Naval Academy. I don't know. The somebody's horses come marching along. It's the West Point, but the caissons or whatever the heck it is. But
man,
goodness.
And you wonder, wonder no more why he got a Division I scholarship offer.
There's more to come.
Oh, Hyson Hussein, big tackle. Little picks up 1 yard on the scramble.
You don't think that kid makes a difference for this West Brunswick defense? Think again.
So Little 1 yard on the scramble sets up a 3rd and 15 from the 45-yard line of West Brunswick. And Jay, time has always been a factor here since West went up by 23 points, but we're all the way to 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game with this 3rd and 15 snap from the West 45. Connor Poe makes a man miss and gets enough for the first down. So Laney converts the 3rd and 15. Poe with a nice catch and run all the way to the 29, a gain of 16 and a Laney first down.
Sam, I lost track. I don't know how many receptions Poe has here to season.
He's got to have about 8 for about 160 or 170.
A bunch. He had 5 last week, and wow, what an impressive night for the junior.
Exactly 2.5 minutes left in the game. There's a deep ball.
Wow.
Close. A West Brunswick defender never turned around and found the ball. I think they might get Mal Hewitt for a penalty over there against Connor Poe. It's about, only about a yard from the line of scrimmage. So an incomplete pass was the result of the play, but there's a penalty flag at about the 27, 28-yard line on the far side of the field over there. Referees having a long discussion about it. Connor Poe was clapping, indicating that the penalty flag was against the Trojans. We'll wait on the call. Holding on the defense.
Holding on West, okay.
Yep, in high school football, it's a 10-yard penalty, I'm pretty sure.
And Sam, I was trying to figure out who was in coverage. Is it maybe Coogee?
Yeah, that was Coogee
okay.
on the
on the pass.
The route.
Yeah. Okay.
So 1st and 10 at the West Brunswick 19, 2:23 left in the game after the defensive holding call. Little running for his life there, fires it, and probably a good thing that he didn't try to throw that one to Poe's chest because Hewitt undercut it, and I believe it would have been an interception coming the other way. So Little wisely just throws it at the feet of the receiver and defensive back, lives to fight another day. 2:16 left in the game. West Brunswick 29, Laney 6.
Again, Hyson Hussein in that backfield that time, pressuring quarterback Ty Little. Hussein's kind of stepped up here, particularly in the second half. He didn't play last week, so maybe a little bit of time to get him going.
Little keeps it across the 15 to about the 14-yard line. So West Brunswick will take that, Jay, tackling Little inbounds, shy of the first down marker. There's another, 20 seconds, lining back up, getting the play in and calling another snap. We're all the way at the 150 mark after Little's 5-yard rush sets up a 3rd and 5 from the 14.
Got to think Little be looking for Poe.
He's looking to run for his life right now.
Boom.
True Robinson and Mike Smith bring him down out of bounds. Maybe a loss of 1 on the play. 1:37 left in the game. The ball marked at the 15-yard line. Jay, True Robinson has played hurt this second half. Every time he gets up, he's walking gingerly, trying to get back lined up there. But we'll give him.
He's coming out again, Sam.
Credit him for a sack there, as it was
not.
a pass play and a loss of 1. So, Jay, here's the game for all intents and purposes. It's going to be a 4th and 6 from the 15-yard line of West Brunswick.
So True was headed out. And they said, you head back in, and he did. And Luke Little calls a timeout. Get the Bucks together.
So, Jay, as it stands right now, the Trojans have scored 29 unanswered points. For anyone who joined us late or didn't see the first couple possessions, why did it not tell our viewers what happened earlier and how West found itself on its heels after the first couple possessions of this one?
Well, it's tough when you start out your first possession with a turnover, and that's exactly what happened. A Monzelle Campbell pass was intercepted, and I'm going to say, they were around the 20, something like that, 15-yard line. And then this kid Little, who don't know he's just a 10th grader, and, you're not supposed to be doing these things now, goes zip, zip, zip right down the field and ends up finding Poe for a touchdown. And before you could, kind of get warm in your seat, it's a 6-0 Laney lead, and the West Brunswick Trojans were on their heels. We said, hey, what are they going to do? They've been punched in the nose. Well, man, they have come back swinging with a vengeance.
So 4th and 6 from the 15. There's a fade route. Incomplete pass. Coogee raced over to the front corner of the end zone, and I'm not sure if he got a hand on it, but he did just enough to where Atkins could not reel it in. And with 1:31 left and Laney down to only one timeout, Jay, that's going to do it. The Bucks can't stop the clock enough to maybe even get the ball back, much less score 3 times. And barring a total catastrophe and breakdown for West Brunswick, the Trojans are going to improve to 2-0 and 2-0 against 4A teams in the Mid-Eastern Conference. In West Brunswick's on West Brunswick's Wilmington tour, the Trojans moved to 2-0.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're gonna do anything in this league, you got to take care of the business within the county. But then you got to step up into New Hanover County and the Wilmington area teams, and you've got to try to make your mark there. And certainly the Trojans have done that here this evening with what turned out to be, or what has turned out to be, a pretty convincing 29-6 win. It didn't seem like it was going to be that way, as Sam was saying earlier on, particularly at the beginning. But the Trojans came back from that first quarter touchdown and then got into the locker room. And Sam, I'd be real curious to see what your brother and the staff say about this, because I got a feeling these kids made some adjustments. Those coaches made some adjustments, because the second half has been all West Brunswick, and a very dominant effort by the Trojans here tonight.
West Brunswick has outscored Laney 22-0 in the second half, and the Trojans scored 29 unanswered points after Laney's opening possession touchdown. That's going to do it. Johnny Magby had a 9-yard receiving touchdown. Avery Clemons with a huge 31-yard catch, touchdown scoring play from senior quarterback Monzelle Campbell. Campbell himself had a 33-yard scoring run and a quarterback sneak for a touchdown. So the Trojans, just all Trojans in the second half, and it results in a 29-6 victory. Jay, we got a busy week next week on ATMC TV.
Yeah, 2 for the price of 1. Tuesday, we will be at North Brunswick for South and North, and then Saturday, we will be at South Brunswick for, I believe, Topsail comes to Boiling Springs. So, yeah, 2 games next week, going to be fun.
So a county rivalry game and a game that will certainly have 3A playoff implications. But for tonight, the story is the West Brunswick Trojans. So far this year, Jay, a combined score of 55-6 over its opponents. A 29-6 win over Laney, 26-0 over Ashley. So you couldn't have scripted it better if you're Brett Hickman and the Trojans. And the Trojans have a heavyweight fight next week as they hit the road to go to 4A Power Hoggard for their second road game of the season. Jay, final thoughts?
We'll see if the Monzelle Campbell show will continue to roll on. What a pleasant surprise this young guy has been, and West Brunswick pushing all the right buttons here this evening, and a nice hard-earned win over a Laney team that, you know what, Sam, You want to play them early.
You better.
You don't want to play them in week 7 because
No.
they're going to be a lot better team. They got some talent. They're going to be okay.
And, Jay, mark my words. Luke Little won at Whiteville. He won at Freedom. He will win at Laney. It's a matter of time. One of the best coaches in the state of North Carolina. You saw yourself, viewers, how good his son is going to be under center. He's just a sophomore quarterback, and what a player he is. But, Jay, it was the Trojans who had the upper hand tonight. Monzelle Campbell continues to impress. Trojan defense allows a first possession touchdown and then nothing else. West Brunswick improves to 2-0. Laney falls to 0-2 for Nathan Evers and Aaron Varnum, the two guys who really make this production happen. He's Jay Combs. I'm Sam Hickman. We will see you next time right here on ATMC TV.